But I'm City Council candidate Ritchie Torres. I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank the beautiful words of the elected officials, both Lily, and I know all of you have busy lives, but you took time out of your busy lives to share this moment with us, and it means the world. My mother sent me a text early in the week when she found out about my campaign headquarters. And she reminded me of something that I had forgotten. There's nothing like a mother's memory. Yes. She said that my cousins lived in Arthur Avenue. My cousins, we called them the triplets. And my twin brother and I would play in that park over there.
Wow. Full circle.
And as a 10-year-old kid, I never thought in my wildest dreams 15 years later I'd be here opening a campaign office and kicking off my candidacy. We've come a long way. 3 months ago, if you forward back to January, if you forward back to December, if you read all the articles written about the 15th Council District, nowhere was there mention of my name. I couldn't even get the Bronx Times to mention my name. But what a difference 3 months makes. We have raised $80,000.
Yes, you
We will have $168,000 to wage a fully fledged field operation. This kid from the projects, whom no one ever heard of, swept all the labor endorsements. We're opening a campaign office. We're mobilizing volunteers. We are building a winning campaign. And I have a profile in the Daily News. When I found out about my first major endorsement, a 32BJ, I wrote the meaning that the endorsement had for me. I want to share what I wrote. I said, I will probably never have a greater supporter in my life than my grandfather, who before his passing would never tire of telling me, you're going to be somebody.
That's what you need. He's celebrating you, baby. Yes, he's celebrating
He believed it even before I did. When I received, on Friday, I won the endorsement of my grandfather's union, 32BJ.
Wow.
One of the most powerful in the state. The endorsement reminds me of how much I wish my grandfather were here to see me run for public office.
He's here.
To see me give the speech of my life as I did at my fundraiser on Thursday night. And to see me receive the backing of his beloved 32BJ. These moments would have made my grandfather proud. And his absence makes these moments bittersweet.
Yes.
I guess that's it. But as you know, there are a lot of people suffering and hurting and struggling in the Bronx. And I feel that I understand the struggles that everyday people face in their lives, because I've lived those struggles. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to have a hard time paying rent, or have a hard time putting food on the table. I know what it's like to belong to a household headed by a strong-hearted single mother who struggled every day to support the family. My story is not a story of perfection. It's not a story of never making mistakes. It's a story of learning from mistakes and being made stronger by the struggles in my life. It is not a story of never falling down, but a story of fighting hard every day to get right back up. But it's not enough to understand the struggles that everyday people face. It's important, but it's not enough. Because we know many people who have the best hearts, the best intentions, and yet can't deliver, are yet utterly ineffective at everything they do. Well, not only do I understand the struggles, but I have a record of overcoming those struggles. I have a record of organizing people and delivering results for working people. I've been a tenant organizer. Speaking of Thanksgiving, I had a building in 2011 and 2012 that had no cooking gas for months. And so I put pressure on DOB and Con Edison, and we got the gas restored so that families could have a hot meal on Thanksgiving. Ritchie! But what the elected said were exactly right. You know, we're running at a time, the Bronx, the history of the Bronx is full of elected officials who have let us down.
Yes.
I was with my campaign manager knocking on doors, and I met a voter who was struck that I actually took the time to meet with him and ask him about the issues that he cares about. And he said to me, in the 30 years that he has lived here, he has never, neither an elected official nor a candidate for public office, has knocked on his door. And it struck me. Now I know what it means to represent a better Bronx. There are entire parts of this neighborhood that feel unrepresented and disenfranchised.
Don't have a voice.
I remember when I spoke at Jimmy's inauguration at age 16, I said, when Jimmy becomes your council member, you will see his face. You will hear his voice. But above all, you will feel his heart. And there are communities in this district who have never seen the face or heard the voice or felt the heart of their elected leadership. And I said to that man, that is about to change now.
Thank you.
But I can't make it change on my own. How are we going to make it change?
Team.
All of us.
That's right. Got to team up.
All of us. See, I have dollars in the bank. I have the smartest people working for me. But it's not enough. It's only made it possible for me to win. We have to make it happen. And how do you win in an election like this? You win by knocking on doors, by calling voters, by displaying and projecting visibility on the streets through subway stops and postering. So I need your help. I cannot do it on my own. My team cannot do it on my own. We need a base of volunteers. We need a grassroots campaign. And together, we can harness our talents and the strength of our neighborhood toward a better Bronx. I need you.
You got us.
And there's one thing,
You got us.
you know, I think it's easy to become pessimistic when speaking about the problems of the Bronx. We have the highest rates of asthma, the highest rates of unemployment, the highest rates of hunger, the highest concentration of dilapidated housing. But even as we honestly assess the problems of the Bronx, we must never forget the potential and the strength of our neighborhoods.
That's right.
I'm reminded of a quote from Bill Clinton. He said that there's nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America. Well, there's nothing wrong with the Bronx that cannot be cured by what is right with the Bronx. And we are right with the Bronx. Jimmy Costa is right with the Bronx. Ross Ronald is right with the Bronx. Michael Benedetto is right with the Bronx. Ritchie Torres will be right with the Bronx. And together, we will win this decade. No one wants to be possible you, ladies and gentlemen.